Now let us start with the third topic here of the lesson, and the title is How is Federalism Practiced? Yes. Now before this we have seen that the lesson is divided into two parts. I have divided into two parts. Do you remember? First part is about what? It is about federalism in general terms, and the second part of the lesson it discusses it tries to understand the theory and practice of federalism in India. So this is the second topic of the second part. Yesterday we have seen the first topic of the second part. What was the first topic? The federal constitutional provisions. Okay, like it is theory, the federal constitutional provisions. And now we are going to see the practice of federalism in India. How is federalism practiced in India? See, the constitutional provisions, they are not necessary for the success of federalism. They are necessary, but they are not sufficient for the success of federalism. Are you understanding? Means yesterday we have studied those constitutional provisions, the features of federalism that are that apply to the provisions of the Indian Constitution. So those provisions, they are necessary, but they are not sufficient for what? For the success of federalism. Are you understanding? Federalism is the division of power between the central authority and the constituent units. So for the success of this federalism, constitutional provisions are necessary, but they are not sufficient. Something more is required. And what is that? The nature of democratic politics here. It is said that the real success of federalism, it is attributed to the nature of democratic politics in our country. The experiment of federalism in India, it has succeeded not merely because of the clearly laid out constitutional provisions. Okay, the real success of federalism, it can be attributed to what? To the nature of democratic politics. Yes, try to understand what is told here, that the importance of nature of democratic politics in our country is told. Now what this ensured, the nature of democratic politics in our country, it ensured that the spirit of federalism, the feeling of federalism, respect for diversity, okay, so and desire for living together, these became, because of democratic politics, these three, they became the shared ideals in the country. Means these ideals were shared everywhere in the country. They were shared in the country. These ideas, these three, they were shared in the country because of what? Because of the nature of democratic politics. Are you understanding? So federalism has succeeded because of constitutional provisions and because of nature of democratic politics. Okay, now how this has happened? This has happened in three major ways. So we are going to study these three major ways. How the democratic politics, it has ensured that the ideals these ideals are shared all over the country. What are those three ideals? These, I can say, these are the ideas of federalism: spirit of feeling of federalism, respect for diversity, and a desire for living together. So what are these? How, in which this has happened, in which three major ways? First way is the creation of linguistic states. Linguistic states, do you understand? Means the states that are organized on the basis of language. So the creation of such states, that the states which are based on language, this is the first major way. Now this creation of linguistic states, it was the first and a major test for democratic politics in our country. So if you look at the political map of India, when it began its journey as a democracy in 1947, and the political map of India today, you will be surprised by the extent of changes. What changes took place? I will show you the map of India. what it was in 1947. So you can get an idea about the changes that has taken place. Yes, this is the map of India in 1947. So what changes has taken place? You see, the old states, they have vanished. For example, see this Hyderabad. Okay, earlier it was a state, right? So this one example of old states vanishing. Even you see Mysore here, it is shown as a state, so now there is no such state. Even Bombay, you see here, it was a state, now it is not a state. The central provinces, okay, so the old states, they have vanished and new states, they are created. So if you see the map of the country of today, you can see that here there is Maharashtra here, okay, and here where Hyderabad is there, so some parts of Hyderabad, they have become part of Maharashtra. Andhra Pradesh state has been created, Karnataka state has been created, Tamil Nadu has been created, okay. So new states, they have been created, and areas and boundaries as well as the names of states have been changed. Can you see here, this is Orissa. What has happened to Orissa? The name has changed, it has become Odisha. Then the boundaries of the states, they have been changed. You see the boundary of Bihar, and in the present map of India, this boundary has been changed. Here you will see that one more state is there, Chhattisgarh is there. So in this way the boundary of Bihar has changed, the areas have changed. Here in the present map you will see there is Uttar Pradesh, okay. So the area of Uttar Pradesh, it has also changed. Earlier, later one more state in 1990, in the year 2000, I suppose, one more state was created in Uttar Pradesh, that was the Uttarakhand. Okay, so in this way the areas of states also have changed. This is an example of how area of state has changed when I have told you about Uttar Pradesh. So in this way you will be surprised to look at the changes that have taken place in India regarding the how India was internally divided into states. So the boundaries of several old states, they changed in the decade of 1950, and later also the boundaries of the states, they have changed. Now what are the two reasons? First, when they were changed, they were changed to ensure that people who spoke the same language, they lived in the same state. So the reason was that the people speaking the same language, they should live in the same state. And some states, they were created to recognize differences based on culture, ethnicity, geography. Okay, so people have differences not just on the basis of language, okay, but they have difference on the basis of culture, ethnicity, geography. Okay, like Uttarakhand, Jharkhand, Nagaland, we have example. Suppose Nagaland, it is ethnically different. Okay, so to recognize these differences, also states were changed. Which differences? Difference of culture, ethnicity and geography. There are examples of other examples are given here, like Uttarakhand and Jharkhand. Uttarakhand, I told you, it was created where Uttar Pradesh was there. Okay, it was part of Uttar Pradesh. Jharkhand, it was part of Bihar. Okay, so to recognize differences, the new states, they were created. And the first reason I already told you, that people who spoke the same language, they lived in the same state. This they wanted to ensure. Okay, so the national leaders of the country, some of the national leaders of our country, they had a fear that the creation of states, okay, on the basis of language, it would lead to disintegration of the country. It would divide the country. Earlier only India had seen division on the basis of religion, okay, like Pakistan was created. So the national leaders, they also might have the fear that on the basis of language also the country can get divided. So this seems to be their fear, but the experience, okay, of dividing the country on the basis of language, dividing the states on the basis of language, or creating the states on the basis of language, this experience has shown what? It has made the country more united. Are you understanding? So because people are living in the states where they are with those who are speaking the same language, so because of this, what has happened? The country has become more united. People who speak the same language, they are living in the same state. Because of this, what has happened? The country has become more united. And secondly, the administration also has become easier. So did you understand? This is the first major way how the federal ideals, I will say, they became the shared ideals in the country through democratic politics. This is the first test of democratic politics in the country. Which is the first test? The creation of linguistic states. Okay. Now we move to the second test of the democratic politics or of federalism in India. So a second test for Indian federation is the language policy. See, our constitution, it did not give status of national language to any language in India. No language in India has been given a status of national language. Okay. Hindi, it was identified as the official language. Okay. So Hindi, what about the status of Hindi? Hindi was identified as the official language. But Hindi, it is mother tongue of only 40% of Indians. Are you understanding? Hindi is the mother tongue of only 40% of Indians. So therefore, many safeguards to protect the other languages, there were many safeguards to protect the other languages. So besides Hindi, there are 21 other languages which are recognized as the scheduled languages by the constitution. So a candidate in an examination conducted for the central government positions, he may opt to take the exam in any of these languages, those languages which are mentioned here in this scheduled languages list. So a student who wants to take examination which is conducted for central government position, he may opt to take the examination in any of these 21 languages. Okay. So not necessary that he should know Hindi only. Okay. So there are 21 such scheduled languages where in which he can take the examination for central government position. This is the first thing. Okay. Secondly, the states too have their own official language. The second thing is that the states also have their own official language. So means all the government work, okay, most of the government work, it is conducted in the official language. It takes place in the official language of the concerned state. So unlike Sri Lanka, what happened in Sri Lanka? Unlike Sri Lanka, the leaders, means one, you remember in the first lesson we have seen that the Sinhala was made as the official language of the whole country. Okay. So in India, what has happened? The leaders of our country, it adopted a very cautious attitude in spreading the use of Hindi. Means Hindi was not imposed upon all the people, especially like we have seen 40% people in India only, they have the Hindi as mother tongue. Okay. So Hindi was not imposed in India upon those people who are non-Hindi speakers. According to the constitution, the use of Hindi, the use of English for official purpose was to stop in the year 1965. Okay, so the constitution said that the use of English for official purpose, it would stop in 1965. However, what happened? Many non-Hindi speaking states, what they demanded that the use of English should continue even after 1965. Okay, so according to them, it would be proper to continue the use of English for official purposes. In Tamil Nadu, for example, this movement, it took a violent turn, and the central government, it responded. How? By agreeing to continue the use of English along with Hindi for official purposes. Are you understanding these steps? These are regarding with the language policy in our country. The three things here you have to remember, or you have to understand, is that first of all, there are 22 languages in which are included in the scheduled list, and a student, a candidate, he can apply for the central government positions in any of these 22 languages. Okay, you want to see which 22 languages are there? I'll show you those 22 languages. See here, these languages include Assamese, Bengali, Bodo, Dogri, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Kashmiri, Konkani, Maithili, Malayalam, Manipuri, Marathi, etc., Telugu, Urdu, Punjabi, okay, Sanskrit. These are the languages included in the scheduled list. And the first thing I told you is that a student, he can opt to give the examination, which examination which is conducted for the central government position in any of these 22 languages. Okay. Second is that the state also has an official language. Okay, means they have their own official language. The states have their own official language. For example, Maharashtra. So here we have Marathi as the official language. So most of the official work, it takes place in Marathi in Maharashtra. And similarly, in other languages in the other states, there are official languages of those states. This is the second thing. And third thing is like Hindi, along with Hindi, English also can be used for official purposes in our country. So these are the three things that have been done. So the central means when English, it was agreed to continue English for official purposes along with Hindi, some critics, they thought that this decision, okay, or this solution of continuing English for official purpose, it has favored the elite people, the English speaking elite people. Okay. So the flexibility that has been shown in India by the Indian political leaders, okay, regarding what, like means promotion of Hindi continues to be the official policy of the government of India, but the promotion, it does not mean that the central government can impose Hindi on the states where people speak a different language. Okay, so the flexibility shown by Indian political leaders, it has helped our country to avoid the kind of situation that Sri Lanka found itself in. Okay, so this is the second major way in which the democratic politics in our country, how it ensured that the federalism, the principle, the ideas of federalism, like the respect for diversity, okay, spirit of federalism, desire to live together, it it became shared ideal in the country. Okay, now we move to the third major way. This is regarding what? This is regarding the center and state relations. Okay, so what kind of relations are there in the two, or were there in the two in the beginning, and how they have been restructured? See, restructuring the center state relations is one more way in which federalism has been strengthened in practice. In some sense, I was telling you that in the beginning how they were and how they have changed after 1950. So the restructuring of the center state relations is one more way in which federalism, it has strengthened in our country. See, the constitution, how the constitutional arrangements of power sharing, they work. There are constitutional provisions, okay, constitutional arrangements of power sharing. How they work, it largely depends upon what? It depends upon how the ruling parties and leaders, okay, they follow these arrangements. So following these arrangements, constitutional arrangements, is very important. So what happened for a long time, the same party ruled both the center, okay, and in most of the states. for a long time it happened in our country. The same party, it ruled at both the places, the center also, at the center also, and in most of the states also. So this meant that the state government, it did not exercise its rights, okay, as autonomous federal units. Means when the same party was ruling at both the places, the party that was ruling, party that was having power in the state government and also in the central government, what happened in that particular states, this autonomous federal rights, they were not autonomous, they did not act as autonomous federal units. Autonomous means this is the right of self government, okay, right or condition of self government. So they did not act as separate federal units because they are of the same party. So this happened in the beginning, and then as and when means at the time when the ruling party of the state level was different, at the state level was different, means see, first when the party was same party was ruling at both the places, it meant that there was no exercising they did not exercise their rights as autonomous federal units, okay. And then when, as and when means at the time when the ruling party at the state level was different, at that time the parties that ruled at the center, they tried to undermine, means make less effective, okay, weaken gradually the powers of the state, okay. So this is what happened in our country for a long time, okay. So and one more thing, in those days the central government would often misuse the constitution, okay. What they did, they misused the constitution to dismiss the state governments ruled by rival parties. So this undermined the spirit of federalism. The spirit of federalism, it became less effective because of this kind of politics, okay. So what now, how it got restructured, are you understanding? So first it was federalism was undermined, the spirit of federalism, but then it got restructured, and all this changed significantly after 1990, okay. So we'll see what happened after 1990. First of all, there was rise of regional parties in many states, okay. I think you have an idea about what are regional parties. You have heard about now Aam Aadmi Party and Shiv Sena, okay, Samajwadi Party, RJD, DMK, Biju Janata Dal. Have you heard about these parties? These are the state parties, okay. Like national parties, you know, BJP, Indian National Congress, BSP, CPI, CPIM, okay. So what happened, the regional parties they rose in many states, okay, first thing. And secondly, this period also saw the this period also, it was the beginning of the era of coalition governments. So what is coalition governments? I think you have an idea about the coalition governments. Since you'll get an idea about coalition governments here, see, when yes, so when the regional, when the major political parties, no single party it got a clear majority in the Lok Sabha. So when no single party got a clear majority in the Lok Sabha, the major national parties had to enter into an alliance, okay, to form the government. So that is the coalition government, okay. So when they are not getting a they are not getting a clear majority, they are entering into an alliance, okay, with whom they for what, to form the government, okay. Like have you heard about National Democratic Alliance, NDA, okay, and another alliance in that BJP was an important party, okay, or major party, the big party, and the other was the UPA, okay. Their Indian National Congress was an important party, the big party, or of that group. So such alliances were formed, okay. And what with whom why they formed the alliance? To form the government at the center, okay. And with whom they had alliance? With many parties, other parties. and it included the regional parties also. So major national parties plus many parties which includes the regional parties also. So the alliance they were formed, okay, to form the government at the center. So what was the effect of this kind of politics? This led to a new culture of power sharing. Okay, so the coalition government, because of the coalition governments and the rise of regional parties, so it led to a new culture of power sharing and respect for the autonomy of the state governments. So this led this trend, okay, it was also supported by a major judgment of the Supreme Court that made it difficult for the central government to dismiss the state governments in an arbitrary manner. So what is this trend? This trend is of sharing power with the this is the new culture of sharing power. Sharing power means, suppose when there was an coalition government, okay, so there were ministers of different regional parties also, because now, and other parties also, regional parties also, okay, and then there was rise of the culture of respecting the autonomy of state governments, okay. This as it is said, this led to a new culture of power sharing and respect for the autonomy of the state governments, okay. So this trend, it became strong again. Why? Because of the major judgment given by the Supreme Court. What did the Supreme Court said? That the party at the center, it cannot dismiss the party at the state, okay, the state government, it cannot dismiss the state government, I mean the central government, it cannot dismiss the state government in an arbitrary manner. So thus we have seen that the federal power sharing, okay, is more effective today, as we have seen here after the restructuring, okay, of the relationship between the center and states. So federalism, it has the federal power sharing, it is more effective today than it was in the early years after the constitution came into force. So in this, students, we have seen that how is federalism practiced in India. The three major ways, okay, democratic politics, and then it ensured that the federal ideals, it became the shared ideals, okay, and the three major ways, okay, in which this was done was the first was the creation of the linguistic state, second is the language policy, and third is the relationship between the center and states, how they were restructured, okay. Students, note one correction here, that the boundary of this state of Bihar, the boundary of the state of Bihar, it got changed when the state of Jharkhand was created, not Chhattisgarh.